The Taylormade M4 irons and the Taylormade 790 have something in common. They are both the larger versions of their predecessors/counterparts. The M4 irons are larger than their forebears, the Taylormade M3 irons, while the Taylormade 790 irons are the beefier versions of the 770 irons. There is more to them than this though. Do the newer Taylormade 790 irons really offer better performance features than the M4 irons? Let's take a closer look at each. So let's get started. Taylormade M4 irons. One of the first things we noticed about these irons is that they come off the face very hot and fast but don't spin very much. This was a bit of a concern as this usually points to a compromised ability to hold on to greens. However, the visual height you get from these clubs from about 180 yards out looks really reassuring, and sure enough, these clubs hold very well. Their ability to play long and hold on to greens can be traced back to a handful of features that include: Taylormade claims that the Ripper technology helps increase head stability, which in turn helps to increase distance. The Ripper is essentially a back panel that goes into the cavity of these irons and extends into the face. This is said to increase both lateral and horizontal stiffness for less twist and power loss. We don't know if all that is true, but we do know that these irons played long. The speed pocket is nothing new, but it certainly does increase forgiveness on low face shots. The speed pocket in the M4 irons does have the same effect as the speed pocket on the Taylormade 790 irons and virtually all Taylormade clubs. Increases flex on strikes made low on the face. A fluted hosel allows for weight savings in the head. Saving weight in the hosel allows for more precise weight placement in the head. In the case of the M4, the fluted hosel allows more weight to be shifted low, improving launch angles, into the perimeter, increasing speed on lateral miss hits. The cavity back design is a must for game improvement irons as it increases wow. Going beyond wow though, the M4 irons have a nice, chunky cavity undercut, which again is made possible by weight savings in the face and hosel. The undercut also helps improve launch in every iron in this set. Even with sub-average spin rates across the board, the M4 irons yield above average stopping power for game improvement clubs. The distance was also around what we were expecting as well. The 7-iron and 5 irons were longer than average, and we can attribute that to very good carry distances. The sound of these clubs aren't the greatest, but we could overlook that in light of their performance. Overall, the M4 irons play long and allow you to stop relatively quickly on the green. And even our shots that looked like they faded too hard landed surprisingly close to the middle of the fairway, so they're also moderately forgiving. Taylormade 790 irons. The Taylormade 790 irons have a more modern and sleeker look than the M4 irons and may be geared towards slightly better players. We know both the M4s and the Taylormade 790 irons are touted as game improvement irons and geared towards more or less the same kind of player. However, after we tested the Taylormade 790s and took a close look at their feature profile, we had a slightly different picture of their target demographic. For instance, let's take a look at some of the features. Carbon steel is a soft alloy that is usually reserved for premium players' performance irons. And indeed, the carbon steel construction certainly gives these game improvement irons the feel of players' irons. The Taylormade 790s are brought back to earth a little bit with their hollow body design. The only reason any iron would have a hollow body construction is to increase ball speed and forgiveness. So in this way, we see that the Taylormade 790s are still at their heart game improvement irons. Again, we see Taylormade go above and beyond by outfitting the Taylormade 790s with a forged L-shaped face insert. The forged face insert combined with the carbon steel body gives these irons a metal wood-like flex. It also helps a lot with ball speed on low face strikes. The Taylormade 790s also have lower than average spin rates but make up for it in much the same way as the M4s. That is, steep angles of descent, which is the only way to offset low spin levels. The Taylormade 790s also had a nicer feel and sound thanks to the forged face and 8620 carbon steel body. It was also easier to work these irons than the M4s, even as they are similar in size. This is why we feel they would be slightly better for handicappers in the high teens, but still viable for high handicappers. I hope this video helped you out. Thanks for watching and stay connected with us. That's all for today. We upload sports product review videos every single day, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for the upcoming video notification. Thank you.